Hi guys, for this video I'm just talking about a Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction. I had this game many years ago, digital, but I don't know what happened due to a corrupt data. I had to take it off, right? And for some reason, some games will take up more space when they are digital, so I just bought it the physical case for the game with the disc. And so far, this game is a blast. This potentially might go in my top 10 games of all time. But yeah, this game very long, lots of lots of different weapons you get, and your basic Ratchet and Clank type formula. Now this game is early PS3, so this is the early PS3 days, 2006, 07, 08. So especially because like it has the old what do you call it, the old PS3 logo here, like on the side. But yeah, so Ratchet and Clank Future. Sometimes I just say Ratchet and Clank TOD. I'm just gonna call it. It's a very solid game. Well, first off, you get tons of different weapons in this game. There's like three weapon wheels. Each weapon wheel is like what? 8 weapons, so it's 8 times 3. What is that? 8, 16, 20, 24 weapons. So you're getting 24 weapons. Some weapons are used as quest weapons, so they're only specifically for certain areas, but not really weapons. They're less quest items. But yeah, you're getting 3 weapon wheels. Like there's a tons of different weapons in the game. To I name some more weapons. There's even this one weapon where it's like a beehive. So the beehive is like kind of like crowd control, where it can take out multiple enemies at once upgraded fully. But yeah, this one is a high damage weapon. There's another one where it's Mr. Zircon, the drone that helps shoot. That helps take out enemies for you. There's another one where it's there's this leech. So a leech is basically where it's like this perk-based weapon where it'll basically leech health off of the enemies, then it'll give it to you. So this weapon actually gives you health. There's another one where there's this net-based gun. So this gun, it's like a shotgun or this rocket launcher. It basically traps the enemies like in this net, and the enemies can't move. For like 5 to 10 seconds. It's very it's very effective, especially bigger enemies once it's fully upgraded. There's another one where it's a tornado-based weapon. The tornado-based weapon, you can literally steer this a tornado. It's a very cool weapon. And the tornado will go left, right, anywhere you want it to go. Incinerator, there's a fire gun. Yeah, so this game is just very special. And the disco ball, right? It's in this game, which is in lots of other Ratchet and Clank games. The disco ball, it's kind of like this distractor-based weapon, or this grenade, but where basically you shoot it and then the enemies do not attack you because they're dancing. And this will go on for 20 seconds, and it gives you an opportunity to take out the enemies, especially like if you're low on health. Just this really gives you like some breathing room here. But yeah, the weapons are amazing in this game, just amazing. There's a one where it's kind of like this super laser. It's I can't remember what it's called, but it shoots out this super fast laser, and it takes out the enemies very fast, extremely quickly. But yeah, man, just the enemies you get in this game. There's another one, like your regular blaster. There's one where a crowd control is very good for crowd control. There's the one where a shotgun that shoots out shards. So yeah, lots of different space-based weapons in the game, and that's what makes Ratchet and Clank so special. Is just maneuvering through these various weapons. And this one has the most amount of, based on any Ratchet and Clank game I bought, has the most amount of weapons that I've ever seen in a Ratchet and Clank game. So like I said before, early PS3 days, so the graphics are going to be a little bit different than now, obviously. The environments, some of the environments kind of look a little dull, and at the level design in some areas, you go to a lot of areas, it's like 15 planets you go to, 15, 16 planets. Every planet stands out, but yeah, some planets feel dull. They just feel dull, and the level design is just boring to go through. But yeah, what makes Ratchet and Clank very special is the fact that you are fighting through enemy waves, maneuvering through these various different weapons. There's a very good weapon in particular. It's the goo. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a plasma stalker or whatever. The plasma stalker, there's these kind of like green type, goo type allies or whatever, and then they basically spawn out of the ground, and they basically these things do a lot of damage. they're treated like grenades, but they basically spawn these creatures, these green creatures, and they do a lot of damage. And you can throw up to 4 at a time. They just take out waves of enemies so fast. Across control and all that. So yeah, maneuvering your way through the weapons, like that's what makes it very special. And another thing about this one too is that it has an interesting background story in it as well. I'm not gonna give away much spoilers here, but yeah. Another thing about the game is the arcade mode. So you get this arcade mode. Basically, what the arcade mode is, you're hacking into these circuits, and you have to move like this ball, within the circuit, and then so you have to kind of complete the circuit basically. Like you have to kind of train up the electricity onto its destination. But you got to move quickly, and you got to think about the pathways. Just the pathways is very cool, and interesting. And it's made by Insomniac, so playing the puzzles reminded me a lot of, if you guys, Spider-Man 2018, the PS4 game. Though that game took a lot of puzzles from a lot of inspiration from this game, in how the puzzles, how the pathways of the puzzles, how you finish the puzzles, and yeah, you gotta the puzzles really allow you to think. Like, it really makes you think. You have other arcade modes too, or mini modes where it's play as Ratchet, play as Clank. Clank is a robot on his back, and Clank will go into certain zones where he'll slow down time, and no, he can slow down time by holding R1, and that will allow you to get through certain areas smoother and quicker. And you have the Zoni as well, the little minions, right, that actually guide you. And yeah, so you have different types of mini modes, spaceship modes as well. And the spaceship, some Ratchet and Clank games, the spaceship type area gameplay is boring. In this one, it's not. It's very engaging, and the spaceship does not take over the game. It's only 5% of the time you are in the spaceship. Only 5%. And man, just the enemy, just the projectile patterns, the lasers, the various different types of enemies you fight in space. And you gotta be very quick. And there's traps in space, minefields, and all that. And so another thing too with the game is lots of enemy are designed. Like when you're on foot, third person type, kind of a cartoon shooter platformer, but when you're on foot, lots of different enemy designs, and you are gonna die a lot. Despite having lots of weapons, your health is kind of skewed, because you cannot take a lot of damage. Until you invest in armor, right? So armor, so it's a lot of somewhat grindy that you gotta grind towards unlocking armor sets. So you will die a lot. There's one enemy that has this shock based elemental thing where if you go near it, you'll take lots of damage, and you only fight this thing from long range, and by using firepower long range. So yeah, another thing about Ratchet and Clank, with the enemies, is that lots of crowds of enemies coming at you at once in certain areas, and you'll get overwhelmed a lot. But it's that's the best thing about it. Circulate your way through these various weapons, in a weapon wheel. Try every weapon, and the more you use the weapons, the more they get upgraded. The more effective they get. Then there's a separate upgrade system where you can upgrade the ammo capacity, damage, and all that. So yeah, Ratchet and Clank Future. And this game, it's a very simple type of game. I'm pretty sure if you guys played it. But it's just fun all the way through. This journey feels very fun all the way through, and it's I just want to play more and more and more. See what type of weapon I'm going to unlock. What type of enemies. A little bit more on enemies. There's this one annoying boss in the game near the end of the game. This giant mech type boss. Very annoying boss. Extremely annoying one. Another thing too about this one in particular, there's this one boss. But the boss is just this annoying issue in the game, where due to the bad the underwhelming checkpoint system, right? Once you fail this boss, is gonna pull you back or whatever, regardless of how far you are in the boss battle. So yeah, with this boss, when you start from scratch, your the arena is upside down, right? It's upside down, And most of your, like your grenade-based weapons have no effect, right? Because since you're actually upside down, uh, the arena is upside down, right? But the boss is kind of sideways up, so you have to kind of attack the boss. And most of your weapons, they do no damage to this boss. Most of your weapons, aside from the shotgun, the only one is the shotgun, the alpha disruptor, and so on, and the rocket launcher. Now there is a problem with the overall. I don't know. This boss design is very annoying. Once you die, it sets you back 10 minutes, depending on how far you are, like in the boss battle. And you gotta grind the, how do you call it again? You gotta ride on these rails or whatever to get to the boss first of all, which is annoying. But yeah, boss is very annoying. But just that one boss, really. Just that one boss. There's another boss too that's kind of annoying too. But yeah. I got a problem with this too, is that the checkpoints, they kind of set you back a little bit. Have problems with this checkpoint system. So the checkpoint system is basically set up where it's kind of hard to explain that. Let's say there's like 15 planets. There's 15, 16 different planets or areas that you can go to, or levels, and like you will travel to various planets through your spaceship. Now like you'll get to a certain point, and then it'll basically, if you die, I know you're gonna die a lot. You are gonna die a lot. Once you die, it basically sets you back to your spaceship to the starting point, or like until you get 50% through the level, or 25% or whatever. So yeah, playing this game, I always have to keep that like in mind. The checkpoint system is not that good, or it's very limited. The checkpoint system it's very it's not frequent. Checkpoints are not frequent, so keeping that in mind. That's why you constantly have to be circulating through weapons, using your most open, especially like on the later levels where it gets harder, the difficulty ranks up. You get more of those harder enemies. You gotta really use the more OP weapons. Crow control, the disco ball, like that's the go-to weapon, the disco ball, because the disco ball basically makes it so the enemies do not attack you for like 30 seconds or whatever. So like it gives you like this huge breathing room, like lots of breathing room, especially like if you're overmatched, outnumbered, especially. Yeah, use the disco ball. That's your go-to weapon, or the plasma stalkers, right? But yeah, just the checkpoint system is not the best here. And most Ratchet and Clank games they have this problem, but yeah, a checkpoint system. I save as much as possible, but like when you save, leave the game, load back into the game, it will start you to the start of the. It will bring you to the start of the arena or level. So it's very important to keep playing the game until you finish a planet or whatever, because you will have to make your way back to certain areas. Sometimes there is a shortcut, a teleporter type, that will actually teleport you to the main objective. But yeah, sometimes it will set you back if you leave the game, come back into the game, load into the game, and then yeah, you gotta make your way through that to the main objective again. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank Future tools of instruction it is highly recommended. You also have this cool arena, the arena as well. Oh, it's cool. You have different challenges. There's like 10 to 15 challenges you do. Take no damage. You can only use this weapon. There's this whiplash type thing. It's like really cool. But in order for you to use it, you got to be close to the enemies. There's other weapons too. There's a lot of OP weapons. There's just a lot of overpowered weapons in this game. But yeah, Ratchet and Clank TOD, I highly recommend it, guys. Like, share, subscribe. And this is a PS3 game. Leave any recommendations. Thanks for watching.